Hi, everyone. I'm Terry.
And I'm Ella.
Welcome to the Chasing Red Flags podcast, Let's Get Real.
Here, no topic is off limits.
And real beats perfect every time.
Welcome to the conversation.
Welcome to where you belong.
You're part of the family now, so let's get real together.
Hi, baby.
Hi, Mama. How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. I'm excited for this episode. I think it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. It's something that we would never have thought to do, but we've grown and learned and keep learning about ourselves. And I think every guest that we talk to brings such a different perspective to growing and learning about ourselves and other people too.
It's going to be a good one.
It's gonna be, and
our journal's out.
The journal is out. It's like crazy. Right?
I mean, we're busy nonstop, but it still doesn't feel like it's actually shipping now, and we're doing things and it's real and we're sending it out and people are buying it and loving it.
And the feedback's been awesome.
So good. I mean, I get texts from my friends all the time about specific prompts they like and stuff. So it's good to hear we're actually making a difference over here.
I know. And I love the feedback that we're getting. It's good. I think it's going to change a lot of people's lives. And it's obviously changed ours.
Yeah, that's good.
So, yeah.
All right. Well, before we dive in, we just want to say thank you so much for being here. Please don't forget to subscribe to the Chasing Red Flags podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or wherever you listen to yours. And don't forget to share, review, and rate this episode. We read all of the reviews, and it's truly what keeps us going, so we appreciate it. And thank you for always letting us be our true selves. All right.
So excited.
Ready?
Today, we're so excited to welcome Rachel Hechtman, also known on socials as Sober in Central Park. Rachel's battle with addiction started at age 14 with her first drink, which eventually led her on a hard-fought journey toward sobriety. Her addiction was profoundly shaped by her parents' divorce, her ADHD, and a difficult time at Dartmouth College, where the culture heavily revolved around alcohol. Now sober since January 3rd, 2021, Rachel has transformed mentally, physically, and spiritually. She's not just sharing her journey with us, but also diving into how ADHD affected her addiction and how sobriety empowered her to quit her day job, start her own coaching business, consult for non-alcoholic brands, and facilitate sober events throughout New York City and the Hamptons. We are so excited to have her here.
Hi, Rachel. Thank you so much for being here and being on the Chasing Red Flags podcast. Let's get real. We're so happy to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course.
I'm so excited to be here.
Yay.
We're excited to have you. Before we get into things, we know your back's been bothering you, so we wanted to check in and see how you're doing.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, no, I feel like I'm just falling apart at the seams here. My back, I need surgery on. My neck, I need surgery on, and I had food poisoning, and I'm just getting over it. So I guess this is what happens when you get older.
Yeah,
but it hasn't been fun.
As we age. All right, I'm going to get right into it. Growing up, you've talked publicly about having undiagnosed ADHD, and you said that you were always getting in trouble and pushing the boundaries. What exactly does pushing the boundaries mean to you?
Well, I was diagnosed with ADHD when I was 15, so I only went undiagnosed, for my adolescence, preteen.
Yeah.
But pushing the boundary, I guess that means I was cutting class. I was always just trying to break the rules. If you gave me a rule, I just found every way to break it. I didn't want to conform. I hated being told what to do. But I think it goes back. It wasn't just the ADHD. It was the lack of consistency in my life. And I was just trying to rebel. For the most, that's what I would say.
I think we've all felt a little rebellious at times.
Yes.
Yours is probably a little bit more than us.
Yes. Well, I know you had said that you started drinking around the age of 14, I believe, which is around middle school age. So was that kind of more social experimenting, or did you feel like it was a purpose to kind of mask some pain that you may have been going through?
I would say neither. It was the summer before 9th grade, and I had gotten in trouble because I was on a teen tour and I got a piercing in my ear, and I wasn't supposed to, and they almost sent me home. So to punish me, my mom ripped up my Dave Matthews Band tickets that I was supposed to go to, and so I snuck out of my house with a bunch of people who also weren't going to the concert, and we all drank on a golf course together, and I just wanted to rebel. So I was just trying to do everything I could to be bad.
Yep.
But when I did drink, I did feel like a sense of relief from the anxiety and anything else that I had been dealing with. But it was like a really bad first experience. I like accidentally lost my virginity that night.
Oh my God.
And it wasn't even like real. Like it was maybe for like half a second. And then the whole school found out.
Oh, so
Oh
it started a whole thing.
Yeah.
It was traumatic.
That is very traumatic,
That sounds
actually.
horrible.
Oh, it was traumatic.
And
Someone
all you
called
wanted
my
to do
mom.
was go to the Dave Matthews concert.
I just wanted to go to the concert. Yeah. Someone found out and called my mom, and she asked me, and I lied and said it wasn't true. And then she read my diary, and she still feels bad about that to this day. She she does, but it was it was a mess.
I think all of us as parents have glanced or
At the diary.
seen the
Yes.
diary, maybe when we weren't supposed to.
But it's our privacy. Like, I just.
No, I get it.
was-
Listen,
yeah.
I get it now more
Yeah.
than ever, with journaling and diaries, and it's private. But I definitely think
As a parent.
us moms feel guilty sometimes.
Yeah, I got home from Hebrew school, and she was like, "We got to talk." I was like, "Great."
That's the big trouble that we got to talk, right?
Uh-huh.
And then you eventually stopped going to class and got sent to boarding school. So how did things change when you got to boarding school?
I mean, well, yeah, I stopped going to class just because I was so bored, and I just like couldn't. I just didn't care. And all my friends were older. They were seniors. I was a sophomore. My boyfriend at the time was a senior, and I just wanted to like chain smoke cigarettes with them in the parking garage, down the street from the high school.
Yeah.
I didn't care about anything. So yes, I got sent to boarding school, and for the first few months, I was in like mandatory study hall. I was in all regular classes, and I think I also was struggling in school. Like I just couldn't pay attention. I had no like ability to like sit through class or do my homework. And then one day a teacher was like, "Did you take your meds today?" And I was like, "I'm not on meds." And like I would say like 60% of my school was on ADHD medication. And mind you, this was back in 2005.
Wow.
So like it was just like a different climate. And I was like, "I'm not on meds." And they were like, "What? You're not?" And so I got tested for ADHD, and they were like, "Yeah, you're very ADHD." And they put me on medication without explaining to me what it meant to be ADHD. They just like kind of gave me medication, and they were like, "Here you go." But my
the
entire
school
world
or a
changed.
doctor gave you the medicine?
No, a doctor.
No.
Doctor.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
but
at that
no one
age, didn't describe to you what ADHD was.
No, like, I didn't even find out about it until like after I got sober. Like I didn't realize like I didn't produce as much dopamine as a typical person. So I'm always searching for dopamine. And I just thought there had been something wrong with me. And then I got put on medication, and I was like, "Oh my God, like I love school. I'm color coding my notes. I'm like it was crazy." And I got put in all AP and advanced classes. I ended up getting the highest GPA in the school. Like it was like I was a night and day.
What
My
a
teachers were like, "Who?"
turnaround.
They were like, "Who is this person?"
Right.
I love that.
Right. Are you
but-
still on
but I was-
ADHD medicine now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
I will say though, but I was still getting into trouble. Like I still would push the boundaries. I still wanted to chain smoke cigarettes with my friends in the woods.
Yep.
Like I spent my entire day at boarding school trying to figure out how we could run to the woods to chain smoke cigarettes and not get caught by the teachers. Like that was all I cared
I mean, so it was still like the fun side of you
Yeah.
and the wild side of you, but the academic side of you changed a lot.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I was able to focus and pay attention.
Yeah.
And I was like really, really good at math. And I was like, who knew?
Yeah. You're like, oh my God, I didn't know this.
Wow.
Well, I know from being in college that ADHD medicine sometimes gets abused. Did you ever do that, or was it strictly more alcohol for you?
Well, I didn't abuse it myself.
Yes.
I helped other people abuse it.
Right.
I was like the ringleader.
She sold it to other people.
Oh my God. It was like a whole thing.
I was just about to say,
it
did you make a lot of money? Because that is like, it's crazy, right?
I mean, it's all out there. But at one point, my mom had to ask me, "Why aren't you asking me for money anymore?" And I'd be like, "Can I have some money?" But that wasn't I was always a hustler, and it wasn't just my ADHD medication. Dartmouth was like there's not a lot going on up there, and it's hard to get things up there.
Yeah.
And so I was from Connecticut, where I was friends with the Jamaican drug lords of Hartford, Connecticut. Like I was able to get things that a lot of people couldn't.
Yep.
And you know,
made a business out of it.
I made a
You
business.
were entrepreneurial from the start.
Yes.
It's a little it's scary though, because
Yes.
obviously that's really dangerous
Yes.
and dangerous for other people to take medication that they're not prescribed.
Mhm.
For sure. What I was going to say is we always talk about how fentanyl wasn't a thing then. And thank
Yep.
God fentanyl
Thank
was
God.
a thing then.
Yep.
Because I don't know how we'd be alive. And
Yep.
it just like, it was not something we ever thought about or,
Oh,
concerned about.
absolutely. And fentanyl is in all,
We hate
we
it,
just
yeah.
discussed this in so many pills right now that it's
Yes,
actually
being laced
terrifying to take
everything.
any pill that doesn't come from a
Even
prescription
weed
for
these
yourself.
days, like it's
Yeah.
everywhere.
With anything. So
Yeah.
despite the partying, you graduated high school, got into Dartmouth early decision.
Yeah, well, in high school, I couldn't really party. Like, I was stuck at school all the time.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't go anywhere. We couldn't do it. I wasn't going to get kicked out. Like, it was a zero strike, school. My brother did get kicked out. That's a whole other thing. But we would leave for like Saturday nights. That was it. We'd
Right.
come to New York City and we'd like have some fun. But it wasn't like we could like party on a Tuesday like I was doing when I
In
was
college.
in Connecticut.
So what was
Yeah.
the Dartmouth partying culture like?
Well, it was actually really crazy. I didn't expect it.
Which you wouldn't
I wouldn't
expect from a
expect it.
school like that.
Well, have you ever seen Animal House?
Yes. Are you telling me
It's
it was
based
like
off of
Animal
Dartmouth.
House?
It's based off Dartmouth. John Belushi went to Dartmouth.
I didn't know
I
that.
don't think I knew that.
I don't
Yeah,
think I knew
and so
that.
there's nothing to do but party in frat basements there, and they're all male-dominated spaces. And so, like, that's all there was to do. There's no town where you can like go out and meet people. I mean, it's like if you're not in a frat as a man, you're a loser. So like you have to go to these frats as women, and like it was weird. It just normalized binge drinking so much. Like, and so I decided after boarding school I didn't want to be in a sorority. So I was in a co-ed society called Panarchy,
Okay.
where we were like the alternative kids. Like we were all tripping on mushrooms and painting murals on the walls.
Oh my, you were
so
just
that was
trouble.
like, those were my friends.
Okay.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
So my question was, I think you had said that you got into some party drugs as well as the alcohol. So did ever the combination make you black out and like not remember your night? Have you ever had those kinds of nights before?
I would black out all
Yeah.
the time. It wasn't like blackout. My friends coined it the Rachel pass out. Like I would just fall
The
asleep.
Rachel, you had a
everywhere.
nickname.
Rachel passed out. Like
Yeah.
I would just like fall asleep everywhere, and which is so dangerous.
So
It got me into
dangerous.
really, really so dangerous. And you couldn't wake me up. Like the only way, can't even believe I'm saying this right now. My best friend who's coming tomorrow, she'd be like, Rachel, I'm taking your drug bag. And I'd like wake up. My subconscious would like be like,
grab
no,
it.
you're not. And
Yeah.
that's how she'd wake me up.
Yeah.
It's very
Yeah, it
scary,
was, like,
Rachel.
not good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had somebody in my life who had some of those incidences, and it was just really scary for me because they didn't remember any of the conversations they had had like the night before, or like what they had done, or throwing up all over my room. And like it was just a lot of situations that I was like, I never hope to be in that position because it's really scary.
And I think it's
So,
also scary. I assume your friends,
yeah.
it was scary for them to be in that position where they felt like they needed to take care of you.
Yeah.
Well, all my friends were doing it too, though. Like we were
'Cause it
all
was just the
blacking out.
whole
It was like
culture.
yeah. So you all
Yeah, we were-
influenced
I mean-
each other.
Yeah, but they also normalized it all at college. Like everyone blacked out all the time.
Yeah.
Like I remember we would like sit there and we'd be like, okay, make a mental note of this so we can remember this tomorrow, because we knew we were going to black out.
Yeah.
That's so scary and so sad.
I mean, the culture hasn't changed that much. It still happens in college. I'm not going to lie.
It depends on who you hang out with,
Yes.
obviously.
But there was no social media then.
When telling your stories, you've mentioned that you were sexually assaulted. So I'm so sorry that you went through that. Do you feel like you were masking your pain after that even more, or no?
No, I mean, I'm sure I was sexually assaulted more times than I actually know of. Like, that's just the truth. And actually, almost every friend I went to Dartmouth with was sexually assaulted. Dartmouth was the first school investigated by Title IX. So it was normal. Like we had frats that we called like, that's the rapey frat. Like they
Oh
just
my
like
God.
rape people. But the one I know about for sure was a friend's boyfriend who was staying in the house I lived in. I fell asleep in my own house and he sexually assaulted me, and my friends walked in on it.
Oh.
And then he sent me an email like apologizing.
Did anyone report these guys? Like,
Yeah, but when you reported it, it was a he said, she said situation. And then they'd like make you go into this like room where you had to like talk about it. And if you couldn't prove it, like then, I mean, it was like the good old boys of Dartmouth. They really didn't do much about it. Like I had a friend that walked in once on an assault and saw it, and they made him testify, and the guy still didn't get in trouble. So
I'm
But that
really
was
hoping
before
the
Title
culture
IX.
has changed now than it used to be because it's
Well,
now
yeah.
talked about a lot
Yeah.
more.
Well, they don't allow hard alcohol on campus. It's been banned on campus now for the past 10 years, I want to
Oh, that's
say.
interesting. Okay.
Yeah. And Title IX, I think, did do something.
So if you're caught at this is just Dartmouth because you have hard alcohol at
Yeah.
Maryland. If you're caught with hard alcohol, you're in trouble.
That's what, even when I went back for reunions, we weren't allowed to have hard alcohol in the crowds.
Oh, that's so interesting. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's really smart, actually.
It's not a bad idea at all colleges, to be honest.
They're trying.
Yeah.
Well, with the amount that you have been through, have you or do you go to therapy?
I've been in therapy since I was in 4th grade.
Wow. That young.
Yeah. I
That's
never got
great.
along with my dad. And so, instead of my dad going to therapy, they put me in therapy. But yes, I go to therapy every week still. I went in college. I mean, there were times where I wasn't going as much, but yeah, I've always been in therapy.
Different therapist or the same therapist?
I've had the same therapist now since 2017.
Oh, that's
Yeah, actually, I saw her today. Well, virtually.
Yeah, and now you have
she's my
therapy with
age.
us.
Yeah, she's amazing. I mean, yeah, I've had all different therapists, men, women, all different ages. But the therapist I have now, she really helped me reevaluate my relationship with alcohol in a way where I didn't totally shut down and want to say F you, I'm not talking about this.
Right.
And really, the thing that she said that she did that changed the most for me was making me say affirmations in the mirror. And I would tell her no. I was like, I'm not doing that. And she was like, can you just look in the mirror and say 3 nice things to yourself? And I was like, I don't want to.
I
And
love
so then
that.
I
We
didn't-
think that's so important.
The most important thing, because you have to believe in yourself and believe those things about yourself to feel good.
What's your favorite affirmation that you say to yourself?
Ooh.
Oh my gosh. Well, I say I don't chase, I attract. Because I tend to chase things and I don't want to. Money, people, men, whatever.
Yep.
Abundance flows into my life effortlessly and easily.
I love that.
But back then I was just so broken and I hated myself. So I would be like, I'm beautiful. I'm strong.
Yeah.
But
And I
it's
would
so
just,
it's so
cry.
important because they do say, and my therapist told me this, that it takes 20 times of you hearing something for you to actually start
Believe
believing it. So the more you tell yourself something, the more you believe it.
Well, yeah. Well, now that I'm so in this world, it's actually too what we speak things into existence, right?
Yeah.
So if we're having really negative self-talk and we're just like, I'm so dumb, I can't do this, blah, 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 then you're going to stay in the place of feeling dumb where you can't do anything. So even if you say affirmations and you don't believe them at first, your subconscious mind is hearing it and you're programming it. And then you're able to manifest that into existence.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yep. We have a ton of affirmations in our journal. So I
Yes.
love that.
Yes.
So, a lot of people think that to be an alcoholic, you have to drink a specific amount every day. I hear this all the time when we talk about, alcoholism. Or that it has to look a certain way, that alcoholics look a certain way. But that isn't true, is it?
No, not at all. Alcoholism is to give up everything for one thing.
Oh, I've
That's
never
a
heard
great
it described that
say
way.
it. I've never heard that either.
It's not, I can't take credit for that quote. It's a thing. But yeah, I mean, you put it above everything else. It doesn't, I hate when I tell people that I'm sober and they're like, oh, well, how much were you drinking when you got sober?
That's my point.
No,
That's
not
what we
we say.
It doesn't right, and people say that when we talk about alcoholism, and we've talked to some, people that are sober that didn't drink every day, that they gave up their life for alcohol in different ways, and it looks different for everyone. And I think that's important to say.
I have clients now that feel guilty that they don't remember, remember, but it's fuzzy, like their kids' recitals or holidays when their kids were young. And it's not like they were blacked out, but they were drinking because that's what society tells us to do, to drink during these times. And they wish they could go back in time and go through all those things again without drinking so they could really, really remember.
Yeah.
Like that. I don't know if that's alcoholism, but alcohol's getting in the way of you remembering your kid's recital or you remembering your kid's birthday party because you're drinking. That's
a problem.
Not great.
Yeah, that's some sort of problem.
Addiction is very human.
But I don't even know if that's addiction. I think that's just alcohol and the way alcohol works. And society telling us that like we're supposed to drink at these celebrations or at these moments in time. And then like later on, when you're like 10 years later, you can't really remember it because you were like maybe a little tipsy. Right?
Yeah. Which is sad.
My question is kind of, I know I've heard you mention that you had a secret wedding and then a divorce and a car accident. And I just want to know, like, that's a lot of stuff. So can you describe like the aha moment, if you had one, that made you be like, I need to stop drinking?
It was none of those things.
Which is so crazy to think about, right? A secret divorce and a car accident, and it was none of those
I've
things.
had a few car accidents. None of them were really because of drinking. Like one was just texting and driving, which is like stupid. Another one, I hit a moose, like in New Hampshire. And it totaled my car. A moose.
That's
and like
crazy.
I was like lucky it didn't get decapitated.
I'm
just a terrible driver.
I had a turkey and I think I hyperventilated for 3 hours after.
She lost her shit.
And I don't think I drove for like 4 weeks after that.
Yeah. No. So that none of that was like the marriage thing. You know, I met a guy when I was here in New York City. He was from Italy. And I was in a really codependent, bad place. And we got into a relationship. And then I went back to Italy with him. And I was just like, I don't want to do life without you. Like, we have to get married so we can be together. And he was like, you're crazy. I was like, so whatever. And so then we did like K9 visa and he came over.
Oh,
we
wow.
had 90
You
days
went
to
all
get
in.
married.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't tell anybody about it. Like my mom knew, but like no one else knew. And we got married on the 87th day. And then I knew I made a mistake like right away. Like I knew. Right. But that was that. And so I think I drank a lot more. That's when my drinking started getting a lot worse because I knew I had gotten myself into this situation that was going to be really hard to get out of.
Mm-hmm.
So that's actually when the alcohol got way worse.
Okay. And you think that you used it as a coping mechanism?
I was just unhappy.
Yeah.
I was like unhappy from that, unhappy with my job, unhappy with the way I looked. It's all related. And so when I felt so lost, I didn't know what I was supposed to do with myself. And my depression was really bad. And my anxiety, and then I would drink more and it made all those things even worse. And so it was just like this snowball effect.
Yeah.
So can you remember the day that you decided to stop drinking?
Yeah. Well, I knew that I needed to stop drinking. Like the first time I ever said to someone out loud, I'm going to have to be sober one day, was on a trip to Italy, actually, before I even met my ex. And I got blackout in Capri with a friend of mine who was already sober. And like random men had to like carry me back to the hotel. And I didn't remember anything. And my friend was like, what the hell is wrong? Like, I'm so worried about you. And I was like sitting on the bathroom floor, like crying, being like, yeah, I have a problem. I know that. But I don't know when I'll ever be able to get sober. That was like 2015, maybe.
Oh, wow.
And then,
so it took you a long time after that to get sober.
Oh, yeah. I didn't want to. And then like COVID happened. And that actually, COVID's the reason I was able to get sober. COVID like saved my life because before COVID, my life was spiraling out of control. And I was going to be the maid of honor at my sister's wedding. I hated the way I looked. I hated my job. I couldn't afford my apartment. I wanted to break up with my ex. And I literally was praying for like a pause in life. Like can life pause so I can figure my crap out? Like I just need to. And then COVID
gave you that.
I was like, did I manifest COVID? And so we left the city and all the things that I would blame for my issues went away. And the only thing left was my drinking. So I would just I was binge drinking all of 2020 and binge eating and binge watching TV and binge all the things I thought I wanted to do that would make me happy. And I was still so miserable. And I remember my moment of clarity.
Yeah.
I was like sitting in the lake, my mom's lake house, and I was drinking by myself with my dog on my lap. And this guy went running by the house. And I remember being like, ugh, what a loser, running on such a nice day. And this voice came into my head. Like, he's not the loser. You're the loser.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm the loser? Why am I the loser? And the voice was like, he's bettering himself and like running. You're sitting like a blob in the lake drinking alone. And I was like, oh my God. And I was like, how do I become more like that man? And the voice was like, he's not drinking whiskey till he passes out on his couch every night. And I was
so
like,
interesting.
Oh, yeah.
So it's the guy that got you sober.
Well, it was more of this, like, I actually had an out-of-body experience.
Yeah.
Like, I can see myself in the lake. I can remember the bathing suit I was wearing.
Yeah.
I remember, like, all of it. And after that, I was like, okay, I'm not ready yet, but I'm going to see if I can go 1 day without drinking and then 2 days without drinking.
Yep.
And then 3, I wanted to know if I was going to get withdrawals from not drinking. But I wasn't
were the
ready.
withdrawals horrible?
No, I mean, I wasn't like drinking all day long.
Right.
Like, I wasn't like,
I think that's the misconception of so many people, that alcoholics drink from the morning they get up until they go to bed. And that's just not true.
well, I think people want to tell themselves that because they don't want to say that they have a problem with alcohol. You know what I mean? So people, they make up these stories. That's what it has to be in order to stop, right?
Yes.
But like, no, I would drink when I got out of work, and I'd drink like, out of work going to bed, but I wasn't like drinking all day.
I think it's important for people to hear that, honestly, because that, there is a culture sometimes in college, and Ella and I have talked about this, where there's people that drink 6 or 7 nights a week just at night and don't think that's an issue.
Yeah.
Well, it's not even if it's an issue or not. I mean, that's going to cause cancer. Like, there's so many studies out now that's like, if women drink more than, I don't want to say the wrong number, but like 4 drinks a week, your risk of breast cancer goes up by 5% with every drink you have in addition. Yeah. It's correlated to cancer, and colon cancer is going up. And it's especially in women, more women are dying from alcohol than ever before. Yeah. And it's like one of the most leading causes of preventable death. Yep. And no one was talking about it for so long.
I didn't even, we just started talking about it, looking at the statistics before we met with you tonight. But there's 8 kinds of cancer that too much drinking causes, which is something we never would have thought of.
But specifically breast cancer in women.
Which is crazy. Yeah.
So that's really good to know. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
How did your friends and family handle you all of a sudden, changing your lifestyle and stopping drinking?
Yeah. Well, my mom was the reason I started. She asked me to do dry January. She was like, it was January 2021. I was back in New York City, and she like got me the book Quit Like a Woman by Chrissy Teigen. Wow. Or no, not by Holly Whitaker. Sorry. And she was like, Chrissy Teigen was holding it on Instagram. Yeah. It's cool. And she tried to tell me it was so cool. All right, Mom. So I tried. I was like, fine, I'll try. I started on the 3rd of the month, and I didn't think I was going to make it at all. And then I actually made it 30 days because of COVID. Like, there was nothing going on. There was no.
Yes, but that could have been the other way. So that's really impressive that's when you decided to quit.
Right. But mind you, the other way, all of 2020, I had nothing to do. So I was just drinking. And I think I was sick of it. And I was like, I needed to radically change it up. My all or nothing personality was like, let's go all the way the other way. Right. So. Well, actually, my best friend that's coming tomorrow from college, when I was like 3 months into the journey, she was like, I didn't even think I could just not drink. Like, that wasn't an option in my mind. So I'm going to stop drinking. And now my best friend from college doesn't drink either.
Wow.
My mom's almost 3 years, no alcohol. She didn't have a problem. She just like had 1 or 2 glasses of wine after work. And now she doesn't drink. And,
it's incredible. It's such a nice support system for you too, I
mean, there were other people in my life that were not supportive, and who
I was going to ask you, like, were there people that dropped off because you obviously changed a lot?
Oh yeah, like most of my friends that I still had at the time, I didn't want to be friends with, or my sobriety made them uncomfortable because I surrounded myself with people that were heavy drinkers, right? They were used to that version of me, and when one person stops drinking, it holds up a mirror to your own drinking habits, right? So. Yes, but even people in my immediate family who liked to drink were not supportive, and
I'm so sorry.
In my face, and it was like really hard. It was hard.
Yeah, that's hard. Ella and I talk a lot about how when you evolve and change and grow in any aspect of life, sometimes it makes other people uncomfortable because you better yourself, and they're not, and it's not really necessarily about us. It's sometimes about the other person in the mirror.
Yeah.
So.
Totally. What I tell my clients about that is like, let's say you're both on the same wavelength and then you work on yourself and you better yourself in some way, you literally raise your vibrational frequency. So you and this person are now on like literally different wavelengths and you're not going to understand each other. And that doesn't mean that they can never get up to your wavelength. But for right now, you're literally operating on different frequencies. And sometimes that means you got to let them go to allow space to let someone else in that is vibrating on your frequency.
Yeah, that's a great way to
That's a great way to think about it.
Did you have a specific resource? I know some people go to AA. Like, there's all different resources. Did you have one that really worked for you and helped you, or no?
Instagram. That's all I used. I mean, I didn't want to go to the 12-step program. Actually, I went to a meeting years ago with the friend I was with in Italy, and she told me she wanted me to come and support her while she was speaking at a meeting. And only literally 6 months ago, a year ago, did I find out that's called being 12-stepped.
Yes.
That's when someone is worried about you and they like tell you that they're speaking and they want you to support. I didn't know that until like a year ago.
Wait, oh my God.
Like, oh my God, did you 12-stepped me? I didn't know that. But no, there were no in-person meetings and I didn't think I was actually like getting sober. So I just kind of white knuckled it and like would scroll on these Instagram meme accounts about sobriety. I didn't really see people sharing their lives the way I do now.
We just want to say we love how open you are. You teach us
inspiring.
lessons, you know? I think it's really important that you are sharing and being so vulnerable and authentic with others because I think you're helping so many people.
Thank you. Thank you. I love when people say that to me and I'm like, it's my ADHD. I don't know how else to be.
It's not your ADHD. Honestly, I mean, I know that's a part of it, but to be honest, it's you. And it's, you know, that you also have grown and evolved. And so you want to help others. And not everyone that does that want to help other people. So
exactly. Well, and on that note, like what message, especially for college students, do you have who are maybe struggling with alcohol or the drinking culture, maybe like around them and where they're at?
It's a really hard question. And I've been asked it before and I don't really know how to answer it, to be honest, because college is such a weird little like microcosm bubble that's not the real world. And so if you're struggling with alcohol in college, I mean, you really need to take a step back and think about who you're hanging out with and who you're surrounding yourself with and how can you find other things to do that doesn't center around alcohol that brings you joy and dopamine and happiness. But like, I don't know. I think that's like a bigger societal issue on college campuses because I will say, though, if I hadn't gone through the things I went through in the past, in college and afterwards, I wouldn't appreciate my life now.
Yeah.
And so I don't regret anything and I wouldn't change anything.
Yeah.
Right. But I don't. It's a tough one.
No, that makes sense.
It's a tough environment.
It's just hard because I feel like people these days, especially college students, are like, oh, how do you have any fun if you're not drinking? But like there are so many other ways to find that dopamine and feel that happiness that you don't necessarily need to be doing by drinking.
And also, there's so many options now, right?
Yeah.
So Ella and I went out the other night and she obviously didn't have a drink because she wanted to have something else. And there was so many choices on the menu.
There were just like mocktails and spritzes and like all of this fun stuff. And I was like, it tastes just as good.
It's not like you have to walk around with
alcohol.
nothing in your hand, right? Or not order anything at dinner. The life is, you know, everything's evolved.
I will say I've been helping with that on the ground here.
Yes, I know.
Years.
You have. You've made that your mission, which I love.
Yeah, I mean, it was easy to start in here in the city. I mean, in New York City, you walk out and everywhere. There's restaurants everywhere. But watching the evolution of non-alcoholic drinks on menus has just been amazing. It's been amazing.
Do you have a couple favorites you could share with us?
Oh, yeah. I'm actually drinking a Curious Elixirs number 9 right now. Actually, I have a bottle right behind me.
What does it taste like?
Oh, it's the Rosy Rosé with fizzy lifting lime. That's the name of it. And it has Kana.
I feel like you'd love that.
It has Kana in it, which is an adaptogen. And it's actually opens your heart chakra. It makes you happy. I love the like adaptogenic beverages.
Yeah.
If you saw the amount of beverages to my left right now, like it's actually scary.
We're going to need to get a list from you after this.
I definitely want to try these.
Well, I am opening a non-alcoholic bar and cafe in Brooklyn.
I know, we heard.
August.
Yay. With Carl Radke from Summer House.
Yes.
Are you excited?
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about the bar.
Yes, tell us about it.
So it's called Softbar. I've been working on this with Carl since inception. I was actually literally sitting down the bar from him when he first said ever on camera that he wanted to open a sober bar to his ex-fiance on Summer House. I just happened to be down the frame, and we barely knew each other then, but like full circle moment. It's been a lot of hard work. But the construction is going on every single day, and we will be open in August. It's a very it's an elevated, sophisticated, upscale experience. Like our beverage director works at a many Michelin star restaurant here in the city. We want people to be able to come and have an amazing time and drink a sophisticated drink without alcohol in it and not even realize they're not having alcohol. Like it's supposed to be sexy and fun, but it's also a cafe during the day. So you can have your functional coffees and teas, during the day and work from Softbar. And I'll be putting on some really awesome events.
Well, we can't wait to come.
I know. That sounds amazing.
Anytime.
Love it. Oh, that's so exciting.
I'll definitely let you guys know when we're opening.
Absolutely. Please. We will be there. We will come and visit. And I'd love to come back to New York. So that'll be fun.
What is your daily routine like now?
Okay, well, I wake up every day and walk in 5 miles with my dog in Central Park.
I know. I wish you were here because ask Ella. I do 5 miles every day. I'm
just
we
around
would be walking
our town
every day together.
Yeah, no, I mean, I have to. It's just like the way I start my day, and it's
the best thing for your mental health.
It's amazing. And the dogs can run off leash in Central Park before 9 a.m. So
awesome.
We just have this whole little like routine. And then I come back and I'm pretty much in meetings back to back like all day. And then I do a lot of events. So I really like popping up at other people's events and doing the non-alcoholic beverages for events that are already happening and showing people that like these exist. So I do a lot of that. I host my own events, but I coach people. I have coaching calls throughout the day and just like a lot of like meetings.
Yeah, and helping people left and right.
Exactly. Well, so do you, in this lifestyle now, after everything, do you only surround yourself with people who are also sober, or how do you like go about that?
No, not at all.
Okay.
I do mostly have more in common with other people that don't drink, and a lot of my friends now are other creators in this space, or just people I've met through the sober community. So they just happen to also not drink.
Yeah.
But I still have a lot of friends that do drink here and there. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not here to judge.
Yes,
like,
of course.
You do you, but I'm not going to be hanging at bars. Like, I just like don't find that fun.
Right.
And I'm probably not going to hang out with people that are like getting blackout drunk. Because
that makes sense.
There's that saying, you don't heal in the same environment that you got sick from.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's true. Except if you live in New York City and you live in the same neighborhood that we were sick in, you just gotta like get over it. Because I live a block away from like the worst of my addiction, honestly.
But again, I give you so much credit because you're there and you've changed your life completely, still in the same space. So it can be done, obviously.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm sure people are wondering, and I'm definitely wondering, if you go out with somebody who is sober, is it like the right thing to do to not order a drink or to order a drink?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah, I don't know. Or does it depend?
I think it depends. I think most sober people would be like, no, get the drink. Like, I'm not, I think if I'm on a date though with somebody and it's a first date and you're ordering this is my personal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If you're ordering a drink on our first date and I don't drink, that's enough for me. Like, I don't want
to.
I know this sounds weird, but what if someone has a drink on a date with you and then they try to kiss you and you taste the alcohol? Is that a weird question to ask?
No, it's not a weird question. That's happened. That's happened before. And I've literally been like, get away from me. You literally taste disgusting. And right. I just like came up with that.
I didn't
but
even think about it that way.
So it's kind of rude if you're,
okay. That makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah. I had one time had a guy come over to my apartment and like leave a bottle of vodka in my kitchen.
Oh, God.
Oh my.
Okay. I assume you got rid of him real fast.
Yeah. No, the guy, I've been dating someone it's like for the past year who's in long-term recovery, but that also comes with its own challenges.
Yes.
Dating's just hard. No matter what.
Dating is hard. Yes.
So You have an Instagram called Sober in Central Park, which is incredible. We
love it.
We love it. How has sharing your journey on Instagram impacted your life?
Oh my God, it's changed my whole life in every single way. I remember I was so scared to make that Instagram account. I was like, why am I doing this? Like, why am I sharing this with the world? But this was back in September of 2021. Like, there wasn't a sober Instagram. Like,
Right.
it just like that didn't exist. And I don't know. I just felt like I needed to share my journey and for my own accountability, and I didn't know who it would reach. And I mean, now I have my own business. I'm a coach. I'm opening this non-alcoholic bar. My whole life
In
has
4 years,
changed
your entire life has changed dramatically.
dramatically.
It's so impressive.
Every way.
And we love, I mean, your content's great to be honest with you, for anyone who's sober or not sober.
Yeah,
You're
just
very
looking to better
motivating and
themselves.
uplifting. And,
Thank you.
you know, you remind people of their affirmations and you get me in a good mood every morning
Yeah.
when I listen to you.
Thank
I feel like I walk with you sometimes when you're like, I'm on my walk in Central Park. And I'm like, oh, I'm on my walk in Needham.
Oh, and I love that. Well, you know what I do is when I talk to the camera and I make my content a lot of times, and this was way more of a thing when I was in earlier sobrieties. I think about the old version of me that was just like scrolling Instagram and sad and depressed, or like honestly like hating myself all the time. And I was just like, what would make her like kind of stop and like pause and maybe just like take a breath or be nice to herself for a second or reevaluate things.
Yeah.
So I kind of try to talk to the old version of me.
I love that. Before we get into rapid fire questions, I just am wondering if someone is listening to this right now and thinking to themselves, I'm not sure if I have a problem. I feel like I might have a problem, but I'm not sure if I have a problem. What would be the first thing that you would say to them to kind of take them to the next step?
If you're questioning if you have a problem with alcohol, you do have a problem with alcohol. That is just the rule. If you're Googling, like, do I have a problem? You have a problem. That is what we say.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. There it is.
Yeah.
You're so
Yeah.
right. So if you're wondering, you have a problem.
And it doesn't have to be like problem, like, oh my
No.
God, it's the end of the world. But like, if you are questioning, maybe I do, you do. It's
Yeah.
not like,
That's
Yeah.
actually a good way to look at it. Thank you.
because people who don't have a problem don't question.
Don't wonder.
Yeah, they don't think
Don't
about
question
it.
it.
All right. Well, our last thing that we always do with our guests is rapid fire questions. So we'll just ask a few and then give us like a quick answer for each of them.
Okay.
Here we go.
Okay. Well, this is my favorite question to ask, but what's your favorite TV show to binge watch?
Oh, I'm so bad with favorites. My favorite.
You can
TV
give like
show
2
to-
or
Oh,
3.
yeah. It doesn't need to be one. It's okay.
I guess it would be like Gossip Girl,
Mhm.
or I don't even know. Oh, Lost. I loved Lost. I watched.
Oh,
Lost,
I
like,
loved
3
Lost.
times.
You never saw Lost.
I never saw it.
I loved
talked
Lost.
about it before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was devastated when that was over. It's very hard to
Yeah.
like fall in love with the series and then have it be gone. It's very emotional for me.
Yes.
Okay, my question. If we got dinner in the city a year from now, what would we be celebrating?
Ooh.
A year from now, my book deal.
Love it.
But I need to write the goddamn proposal. It's like I just can't like get myself to start the book proposal.
We will motivate you.
Yes.
We just went through writing, so we will motivate you. That's
Yeah.
great.
My best friend literally has me in her book proposal boot camp, and I still haven't written the book proposal.
Oh.
But it's okay. It will happen when it's supposed to happen.
Exactly.
We're going to mark it
Timing
down.
will work out.
1
It's
year
good.
from now.
Okay, it's good. What makes you feel the most alive?
I don't know. I honestly think just like walking around the city with my
Yeah.
dog and like seeing New York and feeling the pulse and the heartbeat of this city and
Yeah.
knowing all my neighbors, like skipping down the street, being like, these are the people in my neighborhood, and like knowing everybody. Like I don't know.
No,
No,
the
I love
simple
that.
things make you feel alive. I love that. I
That-
think that's such a good answer.
That's such a
Yeah.
good answer, actually.
I love that.
All right, this is going to be interesting since you have a wall of them. What are your favorite 3 non-alcoholic drinks?
Ooh, that's hard.
I'm like, am I gonna make anyone mad right now?
I know. Is that too complicated?
No. Curious Elixirs for sure. Favorite one, no questions asked.
Elixirs.
Like I love the brand. I love the team. The founder is like my mentor.
And are
He's
these sold
amazing.
everywhere?
You can get them a lot of places. It's best to just get them online.
Oh, okay.
They have 10 flavors and they're all adaptogenic. And I just
We're gonna
am
order some
obsessed.
tonight.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Get like the sampler pack so you can try all of them.
Okay.
And just okay. So I would say that for non-alcoholic wine right now, my favorite has been Oddbird. Oddbird is really, really good.
Okay.
That's definitely been one of my, but Giesen's also good. So, and Giesen's more accessible. So like you can get that everywhere.
Okay.
My third favorite, I would say Pathfinder is really good. It's like you have to mix it with stuff, but it's a really good.
I think we need to be
I know, I
invited
feel
to a
like we should-
tasting because
I know,
now
I
I'm
wanna
like
taste all of
craving
these.
tasting all this.
I know.
Yeah. There's so many good options.
So
I mean,
good. So what is your last question? What are you most excited about for Softbar opening?
Oh, yes.
to have a space to just hang out at and to like feel like we're building, like it's gonna just be the first location. This is not like a one.
I have no doubt.
location.
You got bigger
Boston,
plans
come to
than
Boston.
this.
We have big plans.
Yeah.
But I'm just excited to have a home base to do events and to, create a community where people can come and feel safe and understood. And it's not just for sober people. Like this is for anybody.
Yeah.
But when you've been working on something for a really long time and it's just been an idea.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Oh, we do.
no. Yeah.
We
So, it's becoming a reality and pun intended.
Well, congratulations.
yes.
We think it's going to be
amazing.
incredible. We can't wait to visit.
I know. I'm excited to come
fun.
to New York and we'll visit and maybe we could do a journaling event and just everything is what you're doing is amazing. So we just appreciate it. And I literally think I get maybe 5 to 10 videos of yours a week that my mom DMs me.
I'm a big
and it's
DMer.
Like she just DMs me all the time and I'll like have my phone on do not disturb and open up to like 6 different videos of yours. So I love it.
I'm sorry.
No, don't. It's the best. It's amazing.
But I love that the only reason I'm even on this podcast is because you met my sister at the nail salon.
Which is the
which
crazy.
is
See, this
crazy.
is about community. So this is what I like to talk about all the time is that I'm always talking about positivity and affirmations and just like how our life has changed as mother-daughter. And I was sitting next to your sister at the nail salon having a big conversation about our journal and how it's going to make an impact and how teachers could use it. And she was like, I think you'd love my sister and she should be on the pod. And we got into a whole great conversation about it. But yeah, I mean, this is, I love meeting people and it was meant to be. So thank you for being here.
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
Where
Thanks
can
for
our
having
listeners
me.
find you on social media? I know I already said it, but I think I need to say it again.
Yes.
At Sober in Central Park.
Okay.
Amazing.
That was so awesome.
That was awesome. She's awesome. She's amazing.
She's great, and I feel like it was just an impactful episode.
She's doing great things. It's inspiring, and I actually really want to try some of those drinks.
Yes, so we're going to order some
we're going to
tonight.
go order some.
For anyone who wants to grab a copy of our guided journal, Let's Get Real, you can go to our website at chasingredflags.com.
And in the meantime, keep being real.
Keep being you.
And know that we've got your back. If you have any thoughts, questions, or just want to say hi, we would love to hear from you. Your support means everything to us. You can find us on Instagram and TikTok at Chasing Red Flags Official and on Facebook and YouTube at Chasing Red Flags. And if you want to share your story, ask a question, or pick up some Chasing Red Flags merch, go to chasingredflags.com. The Chasing Red Flags podcast is produced by Jay Del Turco. We are new in this space, so if you enjoyed what you're hearing, please subscribe, rate, and leave a review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, or add a comment and like on our YouTube channel.